Be sure to check out my Patreon for weekly exclusive interviews, extra content on Veve and Ecomi, and building generational wealth, as well as money management tips from experienced whales. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video. And this one, we're going to be jumping into a little bit more of the interview with Randy and David Yu earlier. And yeah, we're just gonna jump straight in. We have a lot to cover, so yeah, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and let's get into it.
So obviously, there's been speculation of you guys being able to say, like, hey, we leverage some of this IP that we have to get some existing IP to get them on board. Is there certain IPs that you haven't announced because you want to wait for Ecomi Utility to get in, or you want to wait for the app to improve?
Yeah, definitely. There's always hold on. Number one, our fans needs to understand is we always need to leave more for later on. We have a chocker block, and you see a lot of these Marvel, Disney now is because we've been working alongside with them very closely for an amount of period. So you see all the content coming out.
So basically what he is saying is the content that you're seeing now, he said this before, the content you're seeing now is content that has been around for years. If you don't know this, they have been working with Disney and Marvel since 2018. It was not announced, but they have been working with them for this long. So that's why they have this type of catalog of work with these companies, because they have a longer relationship with these companies. Now, stuff that came on board after Disney, we probably have not seen too much of that yet. And it's a lot of companies that I'm sure jumped on board after Disney. So yeah.
One that we have part 2 coming out. You've seen the announcement with AMC, the movie studio, doing that Jurassic Park release.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a quite big one. I think we've been waiting to see Jurassic Park property since we launched. I mean, people see my Instagram with these dinosaurs around, but it never. And it's been what, a year and a half or nearly 2 years. So these things, we just can't announce it because they're part of a bigger things, with studios. We have a lot of NDA in place. So going back to your question, is number one is performance is very important. Number two is ensuring that the security and one particular right now, what we're focusing on is the web app to come alive. That has actually taken quite a bit of time to navigate, and there will be a lot of other stuff building in the back of that coming out. And maybe we'll address that in the upcoming AMA or when we feel a bit ready. We just don't want to promise people something now and say, and then I get 55 private mesh says when this is coming out. You mentioned it. We got really scared. It's been very, very difficult. And I think recently Decon have announced we're going to be part of that whole 2022 live event as well. We got some cool stuff coming out on the Q2 and Q3 with that program. Seeing a lot more new artists, and onboarding quite a bit of cool IPs with that as well.
Will we see you at any of these events? Decon in Anaheim or Decon or New York Comic Con?
Yeah, we are going to try to attend some of these events. Okay. Yeah, well, we have to. I think I tweeted out something the other day, and Ben did say, "You created some."
Speaking of you tweeting, what's with the skulls? What is that? Just your favorite emoji?
It's actually pretty funny.
The honest truth. Okay. Well, it's actually got nothing to do with what's coming out.
Okay.
I just want you to know.
Okay.
One of our employee staff at Veve, and I often message him back with the emoji with the tears or cry and laugh out loud. And he messaged me back. He goes, you do know young people these days, they use the skull one now. So I thought, oh, okay. So I thought I'd start tweeting that one out.
The amount of things that people have drawn from that, saying like, "Oh, skull. If Vader takes off his mask, he's just got a skull under there, and maybe that's what
How
we'll
you
get."
do it? High quality speculation
Yeah, I
right
mean,
there.
Main's not over yet. I mean, this is just really, we're the second week through May.
You see that? You see that? He said May's not over yet. Like when he started mentioning Darth Vader with his skull, with his helmet off, he said, "Well, May's not over yet." So that means some type of crazy conspiracies or speculation could come. And he's going to basically confirm we have more big Star Wars drops coming.
I'm definitely looking forward to a lot more quality releases coming, in the coming weeks and months. I mean, our partnership, we have seen the golden moments. We have seen the first appearance of that comic. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot more coming out. From that franchise. It's going to be pretty good.
Have you told other communities right now not to try to tell them not to advertise for you guys? Be like, hey guys, we'll let you know.
You mean the
Get them to stop. Be like, hey, don't talk about us just yet. Is that in your agreement?
Yeah. I mean, we have to stay quite lip on it. We do have a huge marketing effort coming out. We are hiring, as you mentioned, we've got social new marketing people on board. So we do have big plans coming up. And I mean, the theater group, it's one perfect example. We will be onboarding a lot of new users, people who never thought NFT is something for them. I'm pretty sure a lot of these people are buying movie tickets. It would be quite sad if you go to the cinema and actually there's no one there because they just want the NFTs. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, same. There is we were talking about art before and what you find beautiful. There's a Andy Warhol painting that just sold for 195 million.
Yeah.
Is there any chance like some of those types of arts, like ones of ones, anything coming to Veve?
Yeah. One of one is definitely something that we've been working on very, very much. I mean, when we came into this Veve sector, there was only maybe about 7-8 players. There's the OpenSea. I think Rareball was around. I believe Animoca was there quite a bit. Sandbox, Decentraland. There's all these other projects. Nifty Gateway. All these are great platform, and it's really good to see everyone's equally getting a lot of active user. And Dapper Lab was there as well. In fact,
I brought a lot of the Earth 2 crowd myself. Earth 2,
yeah.
I was streaming them, and then you guys came along. I was like, oh, switch gears immediately to you guys.
Yeah. So all these projects, we all started from nothing, and a lot of us were on the same group because we were trying to raise money to build this thing, and everyone was catering a little bit different. We kind of really wanted to stay with the fandom, the app, but certainly our ambition in our heart, and we really want to corner a new part of that market. And I love art, so I'm a huge everything you see today in any of these studios, they came from some artists, some creators, some writer, some producers out there. And they were once student, they were once amateur artists, and they become professional. They do it, when I say professional, they do it full time. And then So I really believe we as a company need to encourage more and more artists to come on board. So you will see a lot more, these artwork, and we really believe that the one of one will be quite valuable, will be very collectible, and there'd be market for that.
What I love about you guys is what I loved in Tesla as well, is not really spending a dime on marketing.
Mm,
That being said, sometimes the best place and the best time to raise money is when you don't need it. There have
mm,
been 337 million gems that have been bought in the app, and 127 million gems are still in the app. So over 200 million gems were spent, given to Vivi. Is there any chance of you using those funds and saying like, "Hey guys, we need to do a capital raise," and trying to raise some funds?
yeah, we have thought many possibilities. I guess there are a couple key things. We need to be ready as a company. There's just so much things that Dan and myself want to get perfect before um, before we do that race. Number one is you you guys can clearly see how much James being purchased. We want to make sure um, whoever we bring on is not just a freeloader in it because they go, well, hey, we managed to get a slice of this pie. We really want them to be working for their investments. We, my I certainly work about 16 to 18 hours a day. Equally, I think Dan probably do more, if not, much more in certain days of the week. And we on 7 days a week. And every person we speak to, they go, Dave, you need to get more system, you need to get more staff. But I think people don't understand is um, we still a startup company. I think most people treat me today thinking because we've done so much revenue, we are not a startup. But it should not be judged by that. It should not be judged by the sales volume. It should be judged by the size of company you are, yeah, how many employee, how you're growing dynamically. That's number one. Number two is how um, how many year you're in business. We only been live for a year now, a little bit. So there's a lot more. We are.
I mean, I just don't want to get too far past the point where he just confirmed what I've been saying for the longest. But I mean, to be fair, the only people saying that Vivi isn't a startup is people who have never run a business or had a successful business at all. But it's painfully obvious that Vivi's a startup, and what they're doing is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's unheard of for a startup to do what Vivi is doing. To be fair, it's unheard of for any giant in the world to be doing what Vivi is doing. So for a startup to be doing it at Vivi's level, like already, it's insane. So yeah, but of course you got the Moon Boys, the real Moon Boys, and the people who, oh, we should be so much farther along. They should be changing the world overnight. It's like it's ridiculous, man. Like people don't have respect for how amazing this company actually is, and it's sad.
Startup. Most people, I do have to say sometimes the VCC are going, well, it's very mature market. I'm going, well, obviously you bought in the hype of this whole Web3 space. And I have a philosophy in my mind, and this is something I've taken from all the business that I have done in my life, from retail, from distribution, from manufacturing, from everything I have done, is that I have this rule where is the 1-7-17-70-300, which means I'm the first employee in the company. So in this case, me and Dan is the first. Then we will employ the second person, the third to the seventh, and then the 17th, the 70, and the 300. So every time when we get to that scale, to that step, we look at it. Who are the key person between the 70 to the 300? Okay, now you need to have an HR manager. You need to have this. Um, it is very important that the money that our audience and yourself have spent in the VV, I guide these fund like, and Dan will probably agree. Well, he will 100% agree. I I got that money like it was the last dollar. We never look at the bank account and go, well, we got this, we could do that, we can buy that player, we can merge with them. We're about to treat that dollar as the last dollar, because that's how we were 15 months ago. We were counting every dollar we have in the bank, and that mentality hasn't changed. I think when company manage to raise great amount of money, they can take better risk. They can afford to make mistakes. Um, and we have seen with Veve and our family and our users, it's not about more money. It's about mitigating and stop making mistakes. We can't afford to make mistake, because when we make a little mistake, we get called out on by our fans. So
That's huge. That's huge. So he's basically saying that Veve, what they have on Veve right now is under control. Everything's working well. What they struggle in, their biggest mistakes has been, mistakes. Like they've been messing up at some points in time. So they can't afford to make those mistakes. That's huge to acknowledge that, and it's huge for that to be the biggest concern, and not even financial. So that just tells you Veve is really working like a well-oiled machine, but that's why they're focusing heavily on hiring, getting the right people in place to minimize those mistakes and to start getting things done a lot faster. That's their biggest weakness. So that seems to be one of their biggest focuses outside of actually getting the web platform and the work done. So yeah, that's huge to hear from David.
so it's not like we raise all this money, we spend it on some stupid things, and people don't notice it. People will. You guys will know, because everything we do is very, very open and transparent. So because of that, myself and Dan, we spend every dollar very smartly, how we invested in this.
That's huge, man. So yeah, there was a lot of information in this one. We're gonna end it right here. So much was said, man. Obviously, he confirmed that. Listen, your boy knows the project. I be doing my thing. It'd be obvious, but yeah, he's confirmed that we had a startup, man. The Star Wars drop basically confirmed that we have more Star Wars coming this month. He explained no marketing, why we're not marketing. The one of ones coming, and that's going to be major. Like that's going to be huge for whales. We're going to see whales literally bidding insane amounts for one of one pieces, and then explained why they didn't really raise capital. So yeah, a lot was covered in this one. Let me know how you all feel about all these different topics, man. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And yeah, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, Joe.